Housing News 360. Let's take a look at the headlines. Federal government stakeholders meet in Gombe to address housing deficit and building collapse as state developers seek strict enforcement of National Building Code. Lagos seeks low-cost housing funds on the foreign scene. Housing affordability in Houston improves for the first time since 2020. The news in detail. Stakeholders in the housing sector on Monday converged in Gombe for the 13th National Council on Land, Housing and Urban Development Conference to address Nigeria's housing deficit and stem perennial building collapse. The meeting, due to be held from November 11 to 15, would enable the participants to deliberate on problems and solutions towards enhancing access to affordable housing in the country. Mohammed Salawat, the Director of Planning, Research and Statistics at the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, told journalists on the sidelines of the meeting that the participants would review about 60 memos submitted by government and private bodies during a technical session. He said they should contribute to a robust agenda on housing improvement, adding that critical issues had been identified, including the prevention of building collapse. He said President Bola Tinubu had prioritized proactive measures to address the problem, to which the Minister of Housing set up a committee to investigate building collapses in the country. Bothered by increasing cases of building collapse, estate developers under the aegis of the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, REDEN, have called for strict enforcement of the National Building Code. The association also stressed the need for clear accountability for negligence and for government to ensure that parties behind collapsed buildings are penalized to prevent future incidents. REDEN's president, Prince Akintoye Adeoye, said these in Abuja at this year's International Real Estate Conference and Exhibition with the theme Arresting Building Collapse for Economic Devastation. Adeoye noted that building collapses are a serious concern that not only endanger lives but also cause devastating economic losses. Now, the chairman of the Ogun State Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, George Onofowokon, has raised alarm over the unprecedented crisis facing Nigeria's manufacturing sector following the government's decision to float the naira in 2023. Speaking at the 39th Annual General Meeting of MAN on Tuesday in Ogun State, Onofowokon, who also serves as the Managing Director of Coleman Wires and Cables Industrial Limited, addressed the theme Dollar to Naira Cost, the Nigerian Manufacturer's Daily Dilemma, Exploring Strategies for Business Sustainability. He highlighted the soaring exchange rate, which has surged to 1,900 to $1 by early 2024, as a key driver of the sector's challenges. Onofowokon also highlighted the added burdens of inadequate infrastructure and rising energy costs. He noted that key roadways in urban states, critical for transporting goods and materials, remain in disrepair, causing frequent accidents and increasing logistics expenses. In Lagos, the state government has said it has ramped up its plan to incentivize foreign business interests to invest in low-cost housing schemes with long-term plans to meet their repayment obligations. Commissioner for Housing, Maruf Akindele-Fatai, disclosed the plan at the 2024 World Urban Forum convened by the United Nations Human Settlements Programme, UN Habitat, in Cairo, Egypt. The 5-day program, which began on November 4th, with the theme It All Starts at Home, Local Action for Sustainable Cities and Communities, had several impactful sessions, one of which was a Lagos networking event tagged Lagos, a Home for All. As a keynote speaker at the forum, Akindele Fatai delivered an insightful presentation to the global community, showcasing Lagos and its success story in housing sector. On the foreign scene, the Houston housing market experienced a year-over-year improvement in the third quarter of 2024. The report found out that 38% of Houston area households could afford to purchase a median-priced home in the third quarter of this year, compared to 35% this time last year. The increase in affordability is largely due to the easing of interest rates and moderating home prices, according to the report. Houston area households needed to make a minimum income of $98,400 to afford a median price home in the third quarter of 2024, which is down 6.1% from this time last year. While housing affordability improved, the report found that average lease prices for single-family homes increased 4.8% year-over-year in the Greater Houston area. According to the report, 43% of Houston households could afford the minimum annual income of $88,000 to afford lease payment, which does not include utilities or security deposits. More stories on Housing TV News at the top of the hour.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing TV Africa, on Twitter, Housing TV Africa, Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing development broadcasting.